Hey, my name's Jim. I wanted to make this video to share with you my weight loss journey. I've struggled with weight my entire life. I have vivid memories of being in fifth grade and needing to cut weight to be a running back on the Pee Wee football team. I had to diet and exercise and just really put a lot of discipline and hard work into losing that weight. And I was able to achieve that goal. Ever since then, I've really been up and down my weight, just through different chapters of my life. And at the highest, I weighed 270 pounds. And in that moment, something in me changed, and I was able to lose 90 pounds in 5 months following really strict diet and really strict workout routine. And I learned a lot in that process. And I was able to capture all of that through wearables, so like a Garmin or Apple Watch at the time, and also my weight through my Fitbit scale, and now I have a Garmin scale. So I have all this data that I'm going to try to kind of graph out and just really talk about the different chapters of my life and what was going on at the time, and just kind of explore and add context to the numbers on the graph. Since then, I've gone up and down some more, and currently I just tried to use tirzepatide, the weight loss drug, to lose the weight. And I had mixed results, but ended up realizing it's not for me and cutting it out and then immediately gaining a lot of weight back. But that's where I'm at now. I'm at around 230 pounds. Plan to get around at least 190 in the next few months, following my same protocol from before. So my diet, my exercise routine, just really making it my own this time. I coming to it with a lot of knowledge on what works for me. I just really want to document that process, as well as share any tips and just insight that I have that works for me that may work for some others. So in this video, I'm going to go through the graphs of the historical data, as well as really provide my initial conditions. So I have body measurements, I have an initial progress video, I have an in-body scan, which is a tool that the gym offers that will take some measurements of your body. And also I took some physical measurements with a tape measure. So all that I'm going to track over time and just kind of update and just really take you along this weight loss journey. But first, I want to go through the data and the graphs and just show you and add context to those graphs. So for my first graph, I want to talk about just my weight over the last decade. I was able to collect all this data through the years because I had a Fitbit scale for a long time, and then I have a Garmin scale now, and as long as I step on that thing, it'll just sync to whatever app. And I was able to merge the data from my Fitbit and my Garmin to make a cool graph. And anyway, you can tell here, I stayed around like 250 for a lot of that time when I was just kind of working and just keeping to myself. And then around COVID is when I decided to stop drinking. And from there, I guess the September of the year of the lockdowns, I decided to start dieting and exercising and really taking my fitness seriously. And that's the result. It was just a nosedive off a cliff of my weight. And I did that just through strict diet and exercise. I really want to talk about that in a different video, just going through exactly what I did. But I got down from 268 to 178 in about 5 to 6 months. And this uptick right here was actually a pretty dark time. I would go to Sonic and I would get two 32-ounce Reese's Sonic Blasts, the big ass cups, and then I would finish them both while sitting on the couch with my shirt off. So that was part of the deal. I had to have my shirt off because I wanted to see myself get fat, and I thought it would help me, but lo and behold, it didn't. That was the first 15 pounds, I would say, was just strictly because of that. And right here, you can see that's when I started dating. Right there, and beginning of 2022. Started dating, and with that, you know, you go out to eat a lot, and yeah, so I just saw a little uptick there. And then move over a little bit more, I decided to start drinking again. I was at Renfest in Houston, or around Houston area, and yeah, I decided to get shit-faced. And then the next 509 days were history, right? And then I decided to stop drinking again and get my life together, and decided to run a marathon. So in about April of 2024 is when I decided to do that. And that's this next nosedive, is just marathon training. So I was doing pretty high volume runs. Then I ran my full marathon in November of that year, and ended up hurting my hip a little bit. Wasn't a super big deal, but it ended up hurting my left knee because my form was messed up over time, and that sidelined me. So I got injured, and then I started putting on weight, and that's where we go up here. So, and then I realized I'm gaining a lot of weight. I need to do something. So I decided to take tirzepatide, which is a weight loss drug. And it worked for me. It really cut the weight off, but it had a lot of negative side effects, and I just realized it wasn't for me. I want to talk about that in a different video, but as soon as I got off of it, I gained a lot of weight back, and that's kind of where I am right now. I'm at 230-ish, and yeah, this time I'm gonna lock in again, so it's gonna be fun to watch. But I'm about to drop a lot of weight using diet and exercise again, just using some of the techniques I learned through that extreme cut, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so for the next graph, I'm just showing you my resting heart rate over time. And I've used a lot of different devices over the years. I used a Fitbit for a while. I used an Apple Watch, and then I use Garmin now. Love the Garmin, recommend it. I also used a Whoop through this time, but those assholes won't give me my data, which I think is kind of illegal. I won't say they won't give it to me, they just haven't given it to me yet. I requested it, but I'm pretty sure that's illegal now. So we'll see where that goes. But that would cover a lot of these gaps too. Anyway, so real main takeaways here are, when I was training and running every day, my heart rate dropped down to 38 beats per minute, which is almost insane. I remember going to the hospital and having to stay the night, and not because of this, but when my heart rate was that low, they were super worried. Like the nurses, they just kept coming in and checking on me, thinking I'm dying. So that's pretty low. All in all, though, it was super healthy. And the real thing I want to highlight here, though, is tirzepatide. You can see one of the negative side effects right there, just clear as day. The about 20 beats per minute increase, just instantaneously, onset then offset. So I thought that was interesting. So next we'll move on to where I am now, my starting conditions. So I took measurements of my chest, my belly, and my waist, and my biceps. So I have a 47.5 inch chest, 47 inch belly, and 42 inch waist. My biceps are 15 inches each. These measurements were taken on June 11th, and that's a starting weight of 229. With that, I also have access to an in-body scan at the gym I go to, and this is the results here. So my total weight then, this was that afternoon, so I gained, I guess, 3 pounds in that day. But my weight there is 232, and that is broken down here. You can see the breakdown. I'm not really going to read it off. But my body fat percentage is 31.2%, and my BMI is 33% or 33.4. I wanted to talk a bit about goals. For me, personally, I found they're more of a net negative. I'll set a goal, I'll crush it and reach that goal, but then once I do, I'll just drop the goal altogether or the task, and I find what works better for me is to set a goal that is perpetual. So for example, I do better setting the goal to become the person that works out an hour a day. If I can't do my rigorous workouts, I'm at least making time to walk for an hour a day. It's just non-negotiable. I find that works really well for me. And also I do have an ideal weight in mind, and that's below 190 pounds. So for me, that's at least a 40-pound loss. And I do believe it's going to happen rather quickly because I'm able to keep up with this exercise routine, and I'm in pretty strong control of my diet. And typically I'm able to lose weight pretty quickly. That's the point of this video, is really just to document the processes and just the weight loss journey in general. And I also plan to share some tips and tricks about things that work for me, as well as share what I did when I did lose all that weight. What was my diet? What was my exercise routine? What did that all look like? And also my experience with tirzepatide and the pros and cons and why I ultimately stopped using it. So if that interests you, stay tuned, and I should be posting another video soon.